everyone. Welcome, Hector and is it Rocio? I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so since there's some new people, our week topic for this week was community lead generation. I'm not going to go back all over everything we covered, but if you are new, I am recording, so the recordings would be either in the Real Estate Ramp Up Facebook group or on the Real Estate Ramp Up YouTube channel, so you can go look for those there. But today, what I want to talk about is posting. So stop posting once and calling it marketing. If something is worth creating, why would you only talk about it once? And my husband and I were having a conversation this morning because I'm one sponsor away from hitting my $10,000 goal. And I just said, you know what? I'm super proud of myself because in all of the years that I've been doing that event, I've never gotten like this close to my $10,000 goal. And I just decided this year that I was going to do it come hell or high water. And, my husband said, well, you're just after doing it so many times, you just have really great systems in place, which is true. That it is every year it gets better and better and easier for you to get the sponsors. And he mentioned something about like, now all you have to do is send an email. And I said, oh no, it was more. And this is why I'm bringing this up with today's topic, because he didn't know, because why would he know? He's not doing it. I sent an email. I sent text messages individually to 75 different people. I sent DMs to people. I sent messages to people that, are in my Facebook group. I posted it over and over and over. And the fact that I posted it over on my wall is where the new people saw it. I have so many new sponsors this year. So my point in bringing up this story is my husband thought it was a one and done. Like it was just an email and all of a sudden I had 26 sponsors. That's not the way it worked. It was me over and over and over. And, when I set the intention in my brain that I was going to hit my goal, I knew there was more work for me to be done. If I wanted to hit the goal, I couldn't just hope that the people that I reached out to once were going to actually sponsor. I had to start texting people again. Hey, just a reminder, I didn't want this to get buried in your inbox. What are you thinking? Is it a good fit? Like consistency. We think when we post something on social media that everyone sees our stuff. And, if you guys have been in my Impossible to Ignore class, like, I talk about, I can post something once on social media and like 75 or 80% of my friends that follow me aren't even going to see it. So this is where I think it's a mental game because we think we're being redundant by posting the same thing over and over and over again, but people aren't seeing it. So I want you guys to understand today that, one post is not a campaign. Today's about repetition, distribution, using multiple distribution channels to get whatever word you're trying to spread, whether it is a community lead generation framework that you're running or looking for sponsors, or maybe you're just inviting people to your open house. You can't just use one distribution. Like email is not enough anymore. One social media post is not enough anymore. It just isn't. So, it is still community lead generation week, but I really want to focus on this for you guys because, we all forget that, I think we judge ourselves and it's like, oh, I don't want to post that again because someone might think, I mean, I've had a lot of, I have this little, I call her Wanda. She sits on my shoulder and she's just, telling me that, she just tells me stories that are just ridiculous. she's been telling me for the month that I've been pushing for sponsors, like, people are sick of seeing your sponsor stuff. People are sick of hearing from you. Like, I have to block all that out because we all know, and I think about this all the time too, because my sister's a realtor, and she will constantly say, "Oh, people are thinking this about me. People are doing," and I always say to her, "Renee, we think people care about us,
Hmm.
but I
They
mean, I don't
don't.
mean this in a mean way. I mean, I love my sister dearly, but I want to just say to her, no one is thinking about you. No one's thinking about me. When we hang up this call, you guys are not going to spend your entire day thinking about me. People on social media who are seeing my posts about baubles and bubbles or about my calendar magnet, they're going to sign up for the magnet and they're going to completely forget about me. So we have to get out of our own head, and this is not an easy thing to do. I've been working on this for my entire almost 20-year real estate career. Like, they just don't care as much as we think they care about us. So if you're worried to post what you're going to post because of what people think or what they're going to say, you are holding yourself back from greatness. Because think about it. If I stopped posting asking for sponsors for my bubbles and bobbles, I would have never hit my goal. So I just want you guys to think about that and not hold yourself back. The question you have to ask yourself for whatever it is that you're promoting is, have enough of the right people actually seen it yet?
Mm.
And as far as the school magnets, that we're talking about in this week, I had three schools: Hudson, River Falls, and New Richmond. And as of yesterday, like, River Falls only had like 43 requests, and I bought 100 magnets for each school. So again, it's kind of like the sponsorship. Like, I'm not going to stop posting until 100 people ask for that magnet, because I paid for those magnets. Like, I'm not going to throw them in the trash now. I want them hanging on someone's fridge. So again, what I have to tell myself, and ignore Wanda sitting on my shoulder, I have to tell myself, like, I don't care if someone's seen the post before, because maybe they haven't seen it yet. And maybe I just have not posted it in enough, I have not distributed it in enough local Facebook groups. I have retail store owners in River Falls who own stores. I can say, hey, can you hop on and share my post? So that's the other thing. The people, we all have people that love us and care about us and want us to be successful. I'm going to reach out to those people who own stores in those towns, and I'm going to say, hey, can you share my post? Because I want to get those magnets into yeah. So Mary, let's talk about that for a minute. Um, okay, so college football magnets, you sent 125, you have 70. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Because here's the thing, Mary, you don't really care who gets them, right? The whole idea of doing these community lead magnets is you just want to get more names in your database. I know today's your first day here, so you haven't seen what we've been talking about earlier in the week. But one of the things that I talked about was, when you set up the Google form, make sure you're asking the right questions. So even though you're giving away a college football magnet, you want your questions on your magnet to basically ask them, are you going to be moving in the next 60 days, or not 60 days, 6 months or a year or whatever? Are you going to be selling in the next year? Are you interested in having a home value? Those questions don't have to have anything to do with what you're giving away. But if you put the Google form out there without the questions, you're really just gathering people's contact information. You're not going to get any leads from that. So, I would just make sure that when you're putting together, if you're going to post about it, update your Google form for those with the questions. So that's the biggest thing. Let's see. Okay, so the other thing is, think about, again, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Lisa, before I move on, I want to make sure I get your question.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Oh, and I wasn't even muted. I apologize for the tapping noise this morning. Good morning. Hey, on your Google form, even on each event, do you ask the same questions, or is it changing the questions that you're asking for engagement? Is it changing depending on the type of event you're offering?
Well, so on the children at play signs and the magnets, the questions are the same because I'm giving them a free community resource. So I'm not going to change the questions. For my Baubles and Bubbles event, I actually run Michael Mayer's play on events when people are signing up for their event ticket. I will basically ask them, do you have a need for a refinance? Because I want Tom, who's sponsoring my event, to actually get a referral from sponsoring. So I'm the realtor. So there's going to be a realtor question on my form when they're buying their ticket for my event. It's going to say, are you interested in a home value? Or it might say, are you going to be buying or selling in the next, 6 months? Or it
Mm-hmm.
might say, do you know anyone right now who might need the services of a local real estate agent
Mm-hmm.
or something like that? So for my events, I my actual goal for the event is for the sponsors to actually get leads.
Okay.
And I mean, this is how, after all these years, I've been doing that now for a few years, but that's why people keep coming back and wanting, that's why I can easily get 10,000. Well, I wouldn't say easily. It hasn't been easy. I'm not going to say it was easy, but that's how, I'm able to get $10,000 for event. So the great thing is too, going back to the event, I'm actually zero costing my event. That event's going to cost me $0, and I'm actually going to make money. I'm going to look it up today to find out how much the event cost me yesterday. So I'll update you guys tomorrow. But I'm actually walking away with money in my pocket. I almost feel a little guilty about it. But, here's the thing. I provide so much value through my sponsorship. And, if you're an insider, we covered this a couple weeks ago on how to get sponsors for your events. But that's part of the whole process, right? Is you want your sponsors to come back time and time and time again. And, that's why they're coming back, because I'm actually giving them referrals by asking those questions. Does that answer your question, Lisa?
Yeah, that's perfect. I like how you said that, especially with engaging the sponsors. So
Yeah.
just looking at the different questions you ask.
Yeah. Well, a local business owner went in a community group the other day, and she was just ranting and raving about stop asking us local retailers for money. And I get it. I used to own a retail store, and we used to have people walk in all the time and ask for money who didn't shop in my store, whatever. And but I hopped on there and I just said, can I just ask you to think about it in a little bit different way? If you are providing value for your sponsors, and I basically listed out everything that I provide for my sponsors, what I provide for my sponsors is almost laughable. It's so much value that I've never, ever seen anyone else in my community provide anywhere near the amount of value that I'm providing through my sponsors. And then having the digital sponsorship packet that I send people to, like, it's hard for people to say no because of how I present it. So anyway, so just so you guys that are new, like, this is the room where we talk about the ideas. The insiders paid Facebook group or paid program, group coaching program, is where I break it down and actually give you the step-by-step play for everything that we talk about on these morning calls. So just so you know, you don't have to join the paid group. There's plenty of value here. But when you hear me talk about insiders, that's what I'm talking about. And inside there, they're getting like all my playbooks, how I do all the different things. So I just wanted to clarify that. All right. So So going back to people missing what you post, like think about your own behavior when you're online. Like what stops you in your tracks? You know, you're going to have friends that post stuff that you're not seeing. So again, we have to remember about our own behavior. So, if you're only posting your school magnet on Monday morning, like people just are not going to see it. You can repost it that same day in your stories. So this is where, going back to like the 10 posts a day that I do, a lot of people will say to me, well, Jill, I don't ever see your posts. Why don't I see your posts? If you're posting 10 times a day, that's a lot. Why am I not seeing that? You're not seeing that because I'm posting in my stories. I'm posting in my 4 Facebook groups. If you're not a part of my Facebook, my St. Croix Valley Women in Business Facebook group, if you don't live in the St. Croix Valley, you're not going to see those posts. So this is, again, the distribution channels. When I talk about distribution channels, that's what I mean. Because remember, your stories are only seen by people who know you and who are following you. Your wall or your feed, that is seen by everyone. Or if you do a reel, if you're doing some video, anyone is going to see your reel, not just your followers. But if you post in your stories, so I think about it like this from a strategy standpoint. If I want to reach my local people, I want to post a lot in my stories because that's who that's going to get in front of. Now, if I want to grow my follower count on either Facebook or Instagram, I'm going to spend more time posting on my feed or on my wall. And then obviously inside your groups is where you're doing that relationship building work. So I started a local Facebook group about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, called St. Croix Valley Women in Business, because I wanted to attract local women business professionals. I have about, I think, 1,700 people in that group right now. So many people in that group have transacted with me, and I never knew them before they entered the group. So, having your own, that's a whole nother topic that we'll cover on another week on why you should have a local group. But here's the beauty about like these lead magnets that we're talking about this week. I can post whatever I want inside my own group. I tried to post that magnet. Get this, this is really funny. I posted the lead magnet post in a local Facebook group. The admin approved it. I said right in my post, the sign up link is in the first comment. I posted it, she approved it, and turned comments off. Guess what that tells me? That's another realtor who runs that group. She didn't want people signing up for my stuff, but she didn't want me to see that she was declining my posts. And I think I know who owns the group. But this is the beauty of, I'm not bitter.
But
Like,
she let it be seen though. Was it still
yeah.
seen by the group? Well,
Well,
that's still good because they can reach out to you.
yeah, I think the reason she let it be seen, because, if you decline people's posts in a Facebook group, like if you try to post in one of my groups today, Lisa, and I decline you,
Mm-hmm.
you'll know I declined you.
Oh, do you?
So she did not probably want me to know that and this is a story that I'm making up because I think I know who owns the group. But I just think it was funny that, I was able to post, so my whole point in telling you this story is that when it's your group, you can post anything you want to post anytime you want to post it, and nobody can stop you. So when it comes to my sponsors, guess where a lot of my sponsors are coming from? The St. Croix Valley Women Business Professionals Facebook group, because they're women who own businesses. So when I post in there, hey, I have this great event, here's why you want to sponsor, all that stuff, they're just automatically signing up without even really knowing me because they already trust me because I'm in that group. All right, so that's talking about distribution. Repeating the offer does not always mean repeating the same post. So remember, in today's world, we have ChatGPT and Gemini and your favorite AI of choice. Don't make the same post in every single distribution channel or in every place, because you want it to attract different people. So I might gauge my posts one way. Hey, calling all local parents. Well, that might not catch the eye of a grandparent who might want the schedule or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So just make sure that when you are posting over and over, you're changing up your post. Um, so like the first one could say, hey, want a free school calendar magnet. Post number two could be, I made these because I was tired of looking up every school day off, which doesn't really qualify for me because my kids are adults. Um, but I could post, hey, 135 families have already requested one, last chance before I run out. So you want to make sure that you're changing your posts, and ask yourself, like, what different angles could I use to get this in front of people? And remember, like, for those of you that are new on the call, just because we're talking about school calendar magnets and children at play signs this week, like, it could be Hector could put together my 10 favorite coffee shops in blah 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 city, or here's my 10 favorite local um you know contractors or whatever, or vendors, whatever you want it to be. Like, if you have a vendor guide, that could be a lead magnet. So the other thing is, I'm using the school magnets and the children at play signs. I paid good money for those, like a lot of money, especially the children at play signs. Those are $15 each. But you could have your freebie be a digital product. I mean, Mary could have put together the college school thing on a Canva flyer, and she could use that if she didn't. Like, if you're just starting in your real estate journey and you don't have a lot of money to spend on marketing, your lead magnet, your freebie, your value piece could be a free flyer. It could be, hey, download my college football list, and then you send them a document instead of mailing them a magnet. I mean, the magnet's great because it's on their fridge for the whole year. So I do like that. It has good, what I call staying power or shelf life. I always like to send, if I'm going to mail things to people, I like it to have a good shelf life on it, because then it stays around for a while. But anyway, so think about that when you're thinking. Just know that whatever your freebie is, as long as it's providing value, it doesn't have to be expensive. Okay, so we've got 3 minutes left. The last thing I want to really say is, like, you're building a campaign here. If you just look at this as, I ordered these school magnets and now I'm going to mail them out, that is not a strategy. You need to think about this as a whole systematized process and system campaign that you're going to follow. It starts with day one, which is launching the offer and posting it online. Day three, you're going to share why you created it. Day five, you're going to share your response or social proof. Day seven, behind the scenes. And then last call. And, like, that's the campaign. And then once people start raising their hand for your yes, I'm buying, yes, I'm selling, yes, I want a home value, then you actually have to do the follow-up and you have to call them. And I've been doing that all week. That's what my lead gen for the week has been. And I got 2 CMA appointments of people that want home values. So it's like 2 listing appointments from my efforts. So again, we don't want to spend the money on the magnets if we're not willing to make the calls when people raise their hand. So if it's not a whole process like this, like, it's just, it's not worth doing. You're spending money on nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, and just so you know, for the insiders on the call, there is a playbook that was uploaded into the dashboard yesterday with, like, step-by-step, play-by-play. Like my scripts, everything that I'm saying when I call them, all of it's up there in the dashboard for you. All right, so we've got 1 minute left. I always like to make sure we're ending on time. So anybody have any last minute comments, anything that's working for you that you want to share? Anyone? All right. Well, then I'm going to let you guys go. Everybody have a fantastic day, and hopefully I'll see you all back here tomorrow. See you guys.
Have a good Thursday. Bye bye,
Yep.
guys.